Welcome back to Southfield on the campus of Brigham Young University. We're about to get started here today, and Jordan, why don't you bring us in with the starting lineups?
Well, for the Aggies, we're looking at some strong attacking with Ryan Turnbow and also Nathan Tabb. Look to those guys to really lead this offensive attack for the Aggies.
At the midfield, you got Deaky there. He's kind of the anchor.
He really is. He's really a solid player. And also at the defense over here, we have two seniors leading the defense over here. And hopefully they can protect freshman goalie Dabney. He is a high school All-American. However, the BYU offense is explosive, and he's going to be taking a lot of shots. We need really him. The Aggies really need him to step up big tonight.
Anytime a freshman steps in that goal, they're going to have some experience issues. But Texas A&M, they played 12 games. He's got enough experience probably going into the year here so far.
That is true. Against CSU, he really had a lot of shots, and CSU really ran up the score on him. And I'm sure BYU is really going to be trying to look to do the same thing tonight.
You can see here the starters for BYU.
That's right, and leading with the attack is Mark Davis and Zach Davis. Two solid players really going to look to make something happen. Also in the midfield, my favorite player is Mark Chogany. Watch him to really lead the midfield on this one. Also on the defense is Cameron Archibald and Jared Rife and Jordan Harris. All three solid defensemen. Really look them to really protect Chris Powers in the goal starting off for the Cougars.
And Chris Powers, a legit, just a phenomenal talent. Back when he was an all-star playing for the Utah All-Star team, and with his high school team, they went back east and played a couple of games against high school teams back there. And the coaches back there said he is a legit Division I player.
He really is. He really is a great player. The head coach for the Aggies is Tony Scazzaro. He is in his 26th season, has an impressive 359 wins, and I'm sure he's going to want to add one more to make it 360.
Yeah, that 26 years, that's a long time coaching a sport at any given school these days particularly. So it looks like we're about to get ready here for the face-off. Facing off for the Cougars is number 31, Phil McClure, and for the Aggies, freshman, number 16, Will Sarche. Phil's been handling the face-off duties for 3 years. This is his fourth year as a senior.
He really has, and he actually develops, every year he gets better. And this year, from what I understand, what I've been seeing him in practice and stuff, he's really coming along with these face-offs. And as you can see, he's really fighting to get the ground ball.
Mark Chogany out there trying to fight for the ball. Picked up by number 40. Up to number 2, Deaky for A&M. On the break, let's see if they take it in. They're going to slow it up a little bit, go to X. Take it back behind. Texas A&M with substitutions coming in. Number 3, Ryan Turnbow. That's the guy that the Cougars need to watch out for. Leading scorer here for A&M. Gives it up to Jeff Mazzoli. Dodging left. Chogany on the defense.
Chogany's an exceptional defensive midi, and I would be very surprised if they try to dodge against him.
Turnbow again, leading the offense from behind. Trying to take Cameron Archibald. Oh, and there's going to be a penalty.
Wow. That's really the explosive power that we're talking about when we're talking about Ryan Turnbow. He really just dodges hard and moves that thick body.
I think Cameron just got him on the head there a little bit, and they call the penalty. So Texas A&M is going to be in a man-up situation, get the first opportunity to see their man-up offense and see if they can catch a break here early on.
Right, on that replay, it looks like he might even got a cross-check against the back, maybe push from behind call.
Well, you can see the calves there on Turnbow, and Coach Cesaro is kind of making fun of him a little bit, but that's where he gets his power, that's for sure.
That's right. When we say solid player, we're not really talking about his abilities so much as his body.
Bouchard, back over to Turnbow. Turnbow slowing it down a little bit, giving it up to number 42, Billy Kettler. Trying to go back up top to Deaky. Gives it over to Bouchard. Right pass over to Turnbow. Defense. Just a little motion, opposite motion on the defensive side. There's Rife. Gets it up to Bouchard. Just slowly moving. The penalty's been released.
Looks like the Cougars are just a little unorganized on that.
Texas A&M not really getting an opportunity or taking advantage of that man-up opportunity. That may come back to haunt them later in the game.
Yeah, I think they should have realized that was a shorter penalty, and they just seemed like they're just trying to waste time moving the ball around instead of attacking the cage.
So here we go. Turnbow setting up the offense. They play a real motion-style offense. Going against the short stick, so he thinks he's going to take it right now against Scott Lawler, freshman.
Looked to BYU to slide early on this one. Oh, no, I guess they didn't. Too late, and that's what happens.
Slide came too late. That was freshman Scott Lawler, had a Highland High School in Salt Lake City, and Turnbow just kind of turned in on him and, one-on-one with Chucky Powers.
That's right. You can see Turnbow really using his body against a short stick. coming in. The slide just too late for the Cougars, and Turnbow's really just able to beat Chris Powers up high.
So that 1-on-1 situation with the short stick, advantage Texas A&M, and they go up 1-0 here with 13-12 left in the first quarter. So Texas A&M strikes first.
That's right, and it'd be really interesting to see Texas A&M do this more often, invert the ball from behind, have a thick body like Turnbow go against a short stick.
Facing off for the Cougars on this, Zach Austin, a freshman out of Brewster, New York, and he picks up the ground ball. Zach Austin, his brother Josh, also playing on the team.
Yeah, and both of those guys are really exceptional middies there. You really see them to really, take opportunities to dodge and shoot to score.
Zach Davis with a sloppy pass to Mark Davis, but it gives him a little bit of advantage. Mark Davis driving to the cage, sees an open guy.
Great pass.
Jordan Thury just can't get it off. Dan Cole comes up with it, number 12 for the Cougars. Over to Jordan Thury. Back to Austin, number 14. Cougars running their motion offense. Midfielder and an attackman on the crease. Pete Stevenson, a fixture on the crease there, really.
He really is, and he jokes around. The reporters kind of make fun of him by saying that he has a nose to finish, and really look for him to, move around and really get open for an open shot.
Back to Austin with an outside bounce shot. Not a real strong shot. Easy save for the goalie.
Yep. Oh, but a poor clear by Dabney. That's too bad for the Aggies.
So the Cougars are going to get it back on the out of bounds. Easy save for Dabney, but unfortunately can't make the pass on the clear.
Yeah.
So the second midfield line stays in for BYU. Number 15 for BYU, James Dreher, comes in out of McLean, Virginia, Langley High School. Back to Powers. On the clear, it's over to Archibald. Archibald can't take it over. BYU in bad position. There's a flag down, not sure why. Oh, Texas A&M offsides. They don't have enough people back. So it's a flag down situation for BYU. They're going to have an opportunity to take a shot, and unfortunately, Mark Davis can't make the catch.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. BYU really had an opportunity to really take advantage of that the penalty being.
They are going to have a 30-second technical for offsides on Texas A&M. Only had 2 men in the offensive attacking zone.
Yeah, really look for BYU to move the ball around a couple times and then really try to attack the goal. They're going to want to really get on the board here and able to get momentum for their team.
Texas A&M still short a man on the offensive side. And here he comes running on. That's number 47, James William. And BYU's man-up offense, we're going to get to see it. You got Mark Davis going to start with it on the side. And this is a powerful man-up offense BYU has. We'll see if they can put one away here.
It really is. There's a lot of firepower and come from every angle, so Dabney's really in for a treat here.
And the referees are working that out as far as, I think they're working out the actual number of the player that was offsides, and they may just be taking the in-home player. And we're in the man-up situation. Chogany now. Oh, and Texas A&M. The referee had the flag out.
Got away with one there.
The referee had the flag out, saw the player coming on, and just kind of gave it to him. So BYU in position. Thury with a shot.
Looks like he just lost the ball out of his stick there. See if BYU will be able to get the ball back.
Brian Kubesh losing the ball at midfield, trying to just flick it over to Zach Austin, unable to do so. So Texas A&M has an opportunity to run a little bit of time here. Now, there are some new rules we'll talk about during the broadcast today with regards to clears and face-offs that will affect the game today. So Texas A&M, it's number 14, Jeff Mazzoli, taking it in. I'm going to murder his name. It's Mazzolini, sorry. I'll get that right. And Powers ends up coming up with it. BYU, I think with the extra man, was able to collapse on him.
I think so. They really tried to double team the ball there, and I think that added pressure just made Texas A&M get nervous and lose the ball.
So BYU with an even situation, 4-on-4. Chogany with a dodge up top, left-handed shot. This is wide right.
That is, and we'll be seeing Mark Chogany probably do that same move throughout the entire game. Most of the time, he'll make that shot, though.
Effective midfielders up at the top. Your old line mate there, Mark Chogany.
That's right.
Number 19, Josh Austin, coming in for the Cougars.
And you can also see the shots here for both teams. They're right, just dead even. The goalies aren't really being tested yet, so we really need to see, especially BYU, come out firing here.
Here's Mark Chogany taking it with a dodge to the right up top. Pass it off to Zach Austin. Randall Cohn with the shot. Hits the Texas A&M player. Ground ball comes up with it. Kyle Nelms. Get off to Dabney to clear. Another poor pass by Dabney. Mark Davis coming up with the ground ball, hustling all the way back from his attack position. Again, going to slow it up for BYU.
Seems like BYU really needs to get just better shots. I think their selection's okay, but their speed on their shots and just their accuracy just off from beginning of this game.
And Monteith for BYU losing the ball. Monteith out of Columbine High School in Denver, Colorado. Just a fantastic athlete, according to Coach Lamb.
He really is. I mean, he's got great dodges. He's very quick, except he just hasn't really been able to produce as of yet during the games. But look for him to really come out of his shell here against Texas A&M.
So you got Josh Austin now. Moving it off to the left, trying to get into their motion offense a little bit. Chogany now in the box. They're setting up their offense. BYU a little bit ineffective thus far on offense. Here goes Josh Austin with the dodge to the left. Sees Pete Stevenson on the crease.
And just a great save by Dabney. Pete had a wide open look, chose to shoot a bounce shot, and Dabney was just all over that.
Crease violation on BYU. Didn't catch the player on that, but it's going to go to Texas A&M.
I think they might even call that on Pete Stevenson, maybe on that shot. I'm not sure, though.
Didn't appear to be that close, but they've got a better vantage point than we do.
I guess so.
Texas A&M trying to clear. Now the rules have changed a little bit this year, where the teams have 20 seconds to get across the midfield line rather than 10 seconds to get it out of the zone.
Yeah, and look for both teams to really use those 20 seconds in order to make an effective clear.
Chogany coming up with that ground ball. Going against Alex Beauchard, number 11 for Texas A&M. Gets it off to Mark Davis. Defended there by Brad. Sorry, that's Dufour, number 8. That 8 looks like a 6 sometimes. Pete Stevenson trying to cover their ground ball.
Got to give Texas A&M credit here. They're really flying all over the ball. They're really out here to win this game.
They're hustling. They're leading 1-0. Monteith, number 6 for BYU. Defended there by Brian Just, Texas A&M.
So BYU's offense really needs somebody just to step up and to take it upon themselves to dodge hard and just get a great shot off. Put BYU up on the board.
So BYU settling it down a little bit, making sure that they've got the right play. Trying to get Monteith on isolation. Drags the stick a little bit. Nice strip. Nice strip by Brian Just.
Yep.
Deakey did not have his head up and paid the price.
That's right. Jordan Harris was just licking his chops for that hit.
Here goes Turnbow. Doesn't have a lot of help. Looks like he's going to go to X and slow it down a little bit. Harris overplays just a little bit. Is he going to be able to seal him off? And Turnbow tried to get it to number 14, Mazzolini.
And Mazzolini seems like he just could not come up with that. It was a great look by Turnbow.
Greg Nell with the dodge to the right. Takes a shot. Right to Chucky Powers.
Yeah, he just ate that one up. Saw that all the way.
That was pass and catch right there. Clark Collins unable to clear for BYU. Coming up for this number 47, James William for Texas A&M, defended there by Cameron Archibald. Back to Turnbow. He's the quarterback of the team. He's going to get that ball a lot. Mazzolini settling it down a little bit. Going against Randall Cohn. Number 11, Alex Beauchard going to the right. See the man on the crease. And another score for Texas A&M. Number 46, Nathan Tabb, second leading scorer on the team. A nice sophomore out of Cy-Fair High School in Texas.
That's right. And if these A&M Aggies really get on fire here, they're extremely dangerous, especially from Tabb and Turnbow. You can see here is a great dodge. Saw the slide all the way and was able to make a great pass on crease.
It seemed to be BYU was a little disorganized there on defense, and Texas A&M is going to take advantage of that if they don't pick it up.
It really is. I'm actually surprised. You know, there's a lot of leadership on this BYU defense, and I'm surprised that they're not really trying to take over this game and direct people where to go and who has a slide and who has a backup.
Let's go, Flo.
So we've got Austin now. Zach Austin, freshman, takes that face-off, going to the left. Trying to get it to Mark Davis, just was unable to. Number 8, Dufour, coming off on the slide. Zach Davis out of Orem High School. Taking it to X. And number 28, Brian Despain, taking the stick right out of his hands.
That was a great check. seems like that check kind of just sums out how A&M is really playing defense against the Cougars. Cougars seem like aren't able to do much, seem a little unorganized. Just need somebody to really take it upon themselves to put a goal up on the board.
Austin now with the ball, up to third, number 27 for BYU. Looking to dodge up top, going to the left. Slows it up, back to Zach Austin. Tries to swing it around to Pete Stevenson, but just not an effective pass.
That's right. That's too bad for the Cougars once again. It seems like they just haven't woken up from their afternoon nap. I don't know what's going on, but they really need to start getting into this game.
I think the BYU coaches are recognizing that as well and getting a little perturbed.
Yeah, I think so. I know Coach Lamb might even decide to call timeout here a little bit and try to get his team organized.
DeFore, up to Bouchard.
As you can see here on ground balls, they're pretty much even. You know, A&M has a slight advantage, and I think that just goes along with the hustling of A&M.
And Harris really out of position in that one. Getting that ball to Turnbow, right over to Jake Lazorko, and just missed an opportunity there. But Harris seemed out of position. You don't want to leave Turnbow open.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's actually, last play was a great example of really what the Aggies are doing here. They're creating opportunities. They can just capitalize on them. This game would be 5-0 right now.
So now Turnbow quarterbacking, slowing it up. Gets up to Bouchard. Coach Zero talking about Bouchard, a fabulous talent, freshman.
Yeah,
going against Thur.
You can see he has great dodge ability, great field sense. He'll be a force to be reckoned with later on in his career.
Harris with a big swing. No call, takes the ball away from Turnbow.
Great one-on-one defense by Jordan Harris on that one.
So again, with the new rule, BYU looking to clear. They have 20 seconds to cross the midfield line, where in the past they had 10 seconds to get it out of the zone, and then they kind of had a dead period where they could take as much time as they wanted.
We have Coach Lamb here also in his 12th year here. I'm sorry, his 11th year, and sporting a impressive record also. He has really taken this program to new levels, and it's really on his shoulders that BYU has had this much success.
Dan Cole taking a pass from Mark Davis, unable to get the shot off. DeFore now clearing for Texas A&M. Gets it up to Turnbow. Always seems to have the ball in his hand. Gets it back to Nathan William. Over to Todd. Todd with a rocket shot right off the helmet of Chucky Powers.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if Chucky Powers saw that one, but he sure noticed it when it bounced off his helmet.
Okay, great position. Lazorko takes it up to James Mansfield, number 31 for Texas A&M. Being hassled there by Scott Lawler, again, freshman out of Highland High School. Now Mazzolini slows it down. Texas A&M trying to dodge against attackman Mark Davis. You recognize that there's an attackman out there playing defense, tries to take advantage of it, but nice defense there by Davis.
He is, and you know, Mark Davis is one of those versatile players that he can play solid one-on-one defense. So if you go up against him as an offender, as a offensive player, don't be surprised if he stops you.
So Kubesh now, BYU up to Mark Davis, number 13, over to Zach Davis with a shot.
Great shot by Zach Davis on that one.
Nice left-handed shot right over to Spain. Dabney probably had a hard time getting a beat on that one as he was screened by his own player. But BYU makes the score closer here. Texas A&M 2, BYU 1 with 3:01 left in the first.
Let's have a look at that play. It was a great move by Zach Davis here. He caught the ball and immediately just recognized they needed to get a shot off quick, turned around and fired a laser to the pipe there, and a great shot by Zach.
So there's a good shot of Zach Davis. Phil McClure on this face-off for the Cougars, going against Will Sarche. And Mark Chogany, number 16 for the Cougars, coming up with it. Going to number 7, Clark Collins, a long stick midfielder, taking the shot from outside. Don't know if that was advised, but...
yeah, I'm not so sure if he wanted to do that, but I think once he heard his teammates yelling from the bench, shoot it, I think he decided to take it in.
Bouchard with a nice shot, but somewhat ineffective. Ball's up in the air. Cougars lost it. Collins coming up with it, number 7, to Harris, back to Powers. Now Chogany taking it up the field again. Over time, this up and down style. Mark Chogany with a right-handed rocket. But Dabney scooped it right up. So now Texas A&M on the clear. DeFore, Stevenson trying to get it. Gets it up to Deakey. Deakey's taking it right down the middle. Tried to flip it to Turnbow right over his head, and it looks like the ball's going to roll out of bounds.
Yeah, I think he tried to get too fancy on that pass instead of pulling out and making a solid pass down to his attackman.
Didn't seem like he was, any BYU players were committing to him. He maybe could have taken a couple more steps and fired one off.
That is true. He was close enough to the goal.
Unable to handle the pass from Powers. Nathan Tabb, 46, coming in for Texas A&M. Again, back to Turnbow. Call his name a lot. And Tabb just making a cut right to the cage. Turnbow sees him.
He had a great shot, but Chucky Powers, as he has been all night, he's been there and he's had a great reaction to the ball, saw it all the way, and made a great save.
With the horn, the BYU Cougars are making wholesale changes.
I think
almost every player on the field, the entire starting defense coming out. We've got the second line defense in there.
Yeah, I think Coach Lamb is getting a little frustrated. He kind of wants to jump start this defense here, and I think if he feels like get a whole change of personnel, that to be able to do it.
So Tabb now from behind. Up to number 9, Mark Good. Up to 15, Clifton Karam. Over to Deakey. Deakey loses the handle on it. Lawler, a very aggressive defensive midfielder, Scott Lawler.
BYU once again having problems scooping up those ground balls, and it's just so far it's been hurting them.
Lawler playing aggressive and forcing a turnover. Number 12, Dan Cole, coming up with it, taking it upfield, looking for his man, Pete Stevenson, on the wing. And Stevenson just taking a rocket left-handed shot.
That was a great shot by Pete Stevenson. Of course, that all started with number 12, Dan Cole. Now, Dan Cole is a freshman, and he's got great ability. Look for him to really take a solid shot. You can see here on the instant replay, great pass from Dan Cole and just a laser rocket shot from Pete Stevenson.
I'll tell you what's going to be a factor as this game goes on is Dabney right now is looking right into the sun. And the BYU goalie, Chucky Powers, will be looking into it next quarter. And as that sun goes down, it can become quite a factor.
That's right. I'm not so sure if the sun is playing a factor yet. I don't know if he even had the sun in his eyes right there. I think that still a laser shot by Pete still would have blown by.
Certainly don't want to discount the shot by Pete Stevenson.
That's for sure.
Certainly don't want to do that. So we've got a timeout situation with 53 seconds left here in the first quarter. BYU's come back to tie it up 2-2. And, I think BYU got off to a slow start. And like you said, Coach Lamb trying to make some changes.
I think so. All week long in practice, Coach Lamb has really been focusing on hustle. He said it was probably the number one thing that they were lacking in the Arizona trip last week. And so he said that they have had a great practice this week and have really upped up the tempo and the hustle. But we're just seeing BYU come out flat today, but this is really traditional BYU lacrosse. Over the years, BYU has always started out slow.
Unfortunately, that has been the case, I think, for BYU. Texas A&M, on the first game of a 3-game road trip, they've got a game against the University of Colorado tomorrow, and then they play the University of Utah on Sunday. And so 3 games in 3 days will be a tough trip for them.
It is a tough trip. It is indeed, but it's good practice for the national tournament.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with BYU scoring that last goal, we've got a face-off situation. Now the difference, they have changed the face-off rules this year in that in the past they would have the ball sitting between the 2 sticks, and the sticks were on occasion touching the ball. Now those sticks have to be 4 inches apart and they're not allowed to touch the ball. So there's a little bit more space. It takes a little bit more craftiness on the face-off moves from those face-off guys to win the ball. So Zach Austin winning the face-off, and third, number 27 coming up with it.
Yeah, and speaking of face-offs, BYU has actually done a great job in face-offs, something they've really been lacking the past couple of seasons. So that could be a really added bonus for the Cougars.
I think the combination of Phil McClure and Zach Austin are going to be tough on face-offs this year.
I agree.
So Monteith over to Austin, over to Cole, over to third. 20 seconds left. Team screaming for BYU to recognize that fact, and I think Mark Davis is just going to take it into his own hands right here.
I think that's right. I think he recognizes the situation. He wants to take it upon himself to get one more goal for the Cougars.
I think Zach Austin, not recognizing that fact, was not out of his way.
And
takes a shot. Yeah, just outside the cage.
That's too bad. It's a great move by Mark Davis, but couldn't get enough of an angle to get a good great shot on that.
Zach Austin out there on the side. I don't think he recognized that that Mark probably wanted to just take the isolation on that one and wasn't able to get it. But there's the BYU team as we go into the timeout here for the first quarter with the score tied 2-2. Welcome back to Southfield on the campus of Brigham Young University. There's a good shot of assistant coach Dave Ruckert for BYU. We've got a tie score, 2-2. Jason Tang's on the sideline with us today. Jason, take it away.
Well, I talked to Coach Lamb earlier this week, and he talked about how his team sometimes wants to be the most technical team or play with the most finesse. But all he wants from the team is to play with pure effort and tons of intensity. And you can see in that first quarter they had a hard start in the game, but we'll see if they can pull it back out here in the start of the second. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Jason. And I think sometimes the Eastern influence that BYU Lacrosse experiences maybe, is a part of that, in that there's a little bit more finesse involved.
It's true. A lot of these kids are coming from great programs out of high school and really learn how to play the game at a higher level.
And we've got looks like a loose ball push.
Yeah, Phil.
On Texas A&M. Going to go to BYU, number 11, Scott Lawler with the ball. He's been tenacious on defense so far today. Davis over to Monteith. Chogney now. Kellen Gunderson, number 25 in the game, out of Jordan, Utah. Chogney now looking to control with a nice roll dodge. Sees his man Randall Cohn with a nice shot, but right in the stick of Dabney.
Yeah, Dabney saw that shot all the way once again. Randall, it's a good shot. He's in the right place, but he either needs to put that on the ground or put a little more heat on it.
And we've got a loose ball play-on situation. That was a push on BYU. If Texas A&M did not come up with it, they would have received it anyway.
Yep.
So Turnbow coming out to get it. Going against number 40, Matt Wheatley, a freshman out of Virginia. So BYU putting a freshman on the top player for Texas A&M. That second defense still in for BYU. Coach Lamb sending a message. Chucky Powers with a nice save. That was a great shot, and Powers is just going to take it.
Yeah, that's what makes Chris Powers such a great player, is that he is versatile and that he can clear the ball by himself if need be.
Mark Davis looking for a dodge and a shot. Wasn't there. Elects to pull it out.
It was a smart play by Mark Davis. In the past, he's been known to force it sometimes, but he was heads up on that one to be able to pull it out, maintain possession for BYU.
Okay, so Monteith now for BYU. Gonna slow it down. Chogney coming on, getting their players in position. Monteith going against number 1, Chris Colwell. Randall Cohn going against Bouchard.
Looks like BYU is trying to, do something from behind here against the Aggies' short pole defenders.
Looking for an isolation with a double team just to dump it off. Here goes Randall Cohn going against Bouchard.
And Randall's actually really comfortable dodging from behind. He has probably spent most of his career at the attack position, so he is one of those versatile players that can do both.
So that's a good matchup for BYU going against a short stick from behind. Cohn with that attack experience. Josh Austin now, number 19. Josh Austin in the Brewster High School Hall of Fame, Athletic Hall of Fame. There's a nice shot, tries to take it. Kind of a tough shot when you're in there with that crowd.
It really was. It was a great dodge, but unfortunately had 3 Aggies all over him on that one.
To Spain. To Brian Jess, number 40.
You can look here, you can see the shots on goal for both teams. Once again, like all the other stats, are about dead even. BYU really wants to have a convincing win here. They really need to start shooting more.
Nathan Tabb now controlling it outside the top of the box for Texas A&M. Defended there by Randall Cohn. Tabb trying to go to the right. Roll dodge to the left. Double team coming up from number 40 BYU. That's Wheatley, that freshman. Greg Nell trying to take it for Texas A&M. Gets hung up. Bouchard behind. Gets stuffed by Powers, and they're going to call in the crease. Whenever you leap like that, you're looking for trouble.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You've either got to make it, or they're going to call that in the crease.
Let's take another look at that. We had a dodge from up top and a great freed underneath. He had to leap into the crease. Thought he could make it. Landed in the crease, unfortunately.
Wheatley to Powers. Powers bringing it up. Very aggressive from the goalie position, handling the ball. And unfortunately, just poor pass there to Wheatley, unable to handle it. I think Coach Lamb's fairly comfortable with Chris Powers handling the ball, though.
I think so. I think he's proved to Coach Lamb that he is somebody that can control the ball, make great passes. Unfortunately, that one we couldn't come up with it.
It's Alumni weekend here at BYU, and we have a great crowd. Watching Chris Powers handle that ball reminds me of a great alumnus, Mike Nelson, will be joining us this week.
And Mike Nelson really was an outstanding goalie.
He's a fantastic goalie for BYU. I think the word these days is what, sick?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Nathan Tabb now.
That was good usage of the word also.
Hey, I'm hip. Nathan Tabb from behind. Gets it over to Turnbow. Defended there by Wheatley. Jared Reif defending Tabb. Texas A&M trying to set something up. They're really just holding it.
Nice to see the Aggies trying to really take control of this game, trying to possess it on offense, kill some time, have them depict what they want to do. Oh, and a great jump. Just going to come up with it on that one.
Taylor Redd just missing the interception on that one. Trying to pick that ball out of the air. Reminiscent of another famous alumnus, Dave Garf. Used to pick that ball out of the air all the time. I think Aaron Quiggle was quite handy at that as well.
Great at that. He not only pick it off or run down the field and score.
A powerful weapon for BYU a couple of years ago.
I think even on his high school team, he played man up with the long stick. I think it was one of their leading scorers also.
Tabb trying to force that one in there, and he's going to get a penalty flag. They're going to get a push from behind on Jared Reif. So it looked like he ended up in the crease, but they're going to say that that was due to Jared Reif and the push.
Yeah, and if you can take another look at this, you know, it's a great dodge, but Jared Reif just pushes him from behind. You know, Chucky Powers really was in position on that one. If Reif just kind of let him go, Chucky Powers would have came up with that save.
I don't think Coach Lamb is in agreement with the call, and kind of letting the referees know about it. Coach Lamb very emotional.
Yeah, I don't know how many calls he has been in agreement with against his team.
There's Turnbow. We get to see this Texas A&M man-up offense for the second time today. The first time really ineffective, but we'll see if they can do this.
Saves here. BYU is really coming up with more saves, but I think that has to do with the fact that Texas A&M is just really shooting a lot more than BYU.
Diekey with the fake. Back to Turnbow with just a rocket off the top crossbar. BYU fortunate in that situation that they didn't score, because that was just an absolutely fabulous shot.
It really was. Another centimeter down, and that would have been in.
The first defense back in now. Cameron Archibald taking it across the line. Defended there by Bouchard. Bouchard gets the check. Ball's out of bounds. We take another look at this missed opportunity here on this shot. Turnbow.
Just a laser by Turnbow. I'd like to see him do that more often, you know, because he really needs it. He's a player that has the talent to be able to take over this game.
It was a fantastic shot hitting the crossbar. As a player, you hate to hear that ding sound. Yeah, the ball dinging off the crossbar, because you know it's a miss.
That's for sure.
We're here with 9:29 in the second quarter. Score is tied 2-2, Texas A&M. Bouchard now bringing it down. Defended there by Lawler, over to Turnbow. Gets it over to Billy Kettler. Up top to Greg Nell, number 4. Bouchard, number 11, going against number 11 for BYU, Scott Lawler. We're going to slow it down a little bit. You see a lot of teams doing this against BYU, really just kind of running a control offense.
Yeah, it seems to be working against these Cougars. Some teams really want to control the possession, really want to control the tempo of the game, and so far in this season it's worked.
Turnbow triple team there by Kubash and Cameron Archibald, and Lawler somehow still fighting for the ball. Scott Lawler kicking it out there. It looks like he's going to get the ground ball and be moving down the field, but Turnbow just getting hammered.
Yeah, you know, and the Aggies are doing a great job of able to getting back from that offensive side, able to get back quickly to the defensive side to eliminate any opportunity for BYU to get fast break.
Because BYU certainly likes to run that fast break, and they just haven't had any opportunities today.
They certainly do.
Zach Davis now controlling it at X, over to Mark Davis, no relation. Pete Stevenson now playing off the crease, which is unusual.
Looks like BYU is trying to control the tempo here, spreading the players out, really trying to work the ball around, maintain possession.
So there's Mark Davis up to Thur. Jordan Thur out of Beaverton, Oregon. Nice surprise for the Cougars early in the season. Number 12, Dan Cole. out of the Waterford School in Sandy, Utah. A lot more Utah players here making the BYU roster with the growth of high school lacrosse in Utah.
Yeah, there's a lot of young players, especially on this offensive side for the Cougars. And it's difficult to really, in the Cougars' defense, to really mesh well together and get used to playing with each other. And that's kind of what the Cougars are finding out early on in the season.
There's Pete Stevenson. Maybe he should have looked to take that shot right away and didn't get it off.
Yeah, I think so. He did have a defender on him, but still, Pete Stevens is a thick kid, and he could have shot through his defender at least to get a shot off.
Zach Austin with a split dodge to the right. Got cracked right in the head and didn't get a call.
Tried to get a little fancy in that shot also, and almost went in. Almost was a great shot. I don't think Dabney even saw him take a shot.
Mark Davis now controlling at X. Coach Lamb again getting after the referees a little bit, looking for a little equity on the calls. Mark Davis looking to go against a 4. I think he's just going to take this one here, looking for maybe the Cougars need a goal.
Great pass.
Up to Dan Cole, number 12, with a rocket shot. The ball's up in the air. Nobody sees it. Cole coming up the ground ball. It was a good look by Davis. Gets it over to Zach Austin. It's a nice right-handed shot, but just goes wide.
See, it's great to see the Cougars really start to take advantage of these opportunities and really start to get shots on cage here.
They've got good shooters. They just got to take more shots. Zach Davis from behind, just controlling over to Zach Austin. Taking it to the left. Third, number 27 with a left-handed bull dodge. And a nice left-handed shot. Zach Davis beating it to the end line. For those of you novice lacrosse watchers, on any shot, you'll see those players racing toward the end line because the player who is closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds, their team gets the ball. Mark Davis now, number 13, going against number 8-4. Roll dodge to the right. This is where Mark Davis is very dangerous. He may appear that he's going to go to the cage, but he's often looking for somebody to pass to.
That's true. It looks like the Aggies are really slow on sliding to him because they know that he's going to dodge and look to feed.
Dan Cole with a nice shot. Ricochets into Mark Davis' stick. Mark Davis gets in the middle of the crease. They're unable to get off a shot. Zach Austin now fighting for that loose ball. And I think he's on top of the ball. They're going to give that ball to Texas A&M. Call it withholding.
Seems the Cougars have woken up a little bit and starting to get a little more aggressive, especially on the offensive side. They're starting to attack more and starting to get great shots. And they can just start putting it on cage. They'll be a force to reckon with.
Mazzolini trying to get rid of it, trying to dodge two different attackmen. There's a nice ride by Zach Davis and Pete Stevenson. Gets it over to James Mansell, number 31. Gets it down the middle to Kyle Nelms, number 17.
Hit by Dan Cole.
And Cole just levels him. Turnbow now defended there by Cameron Archibald. Gets back to number 12, Brandon Stowe. A lot of Texas A&M players getting some time, I'm sorry. Billy Kettler, number 42. So Turnbow now slowing it down for Texas A&M. Billy Kettler up to Clifton Karam, number 15. Sweeping it to the right. Gets it over to James Manfield. Taking it with the bulldog to the right with a bounce shot. Shot goes wide left. You can take a look here. Turnbow's going to take that ball out of bounds. So we've got to look at that.
Look at this hit by Dan Cole. Just a monster hit. This is the kind of intensity that I'm talking about that the Cougars need.
And while we were away at that replay, number 46, Nathan Tabb, takes an isolation dodge and scores for Texas A&M. So Texas A&M goes up 3-2 on the Cougars, again with the lead. And you can see again for BYU, the second line of defense coming back in. You can take a look here. This is while we were away.
You can see here on this replay that Nathan Tam just uses his body and just powers for the Cougars defense and just makes a great shot in that top corner.
He just ran by Harris, number 33 on that one.
You know, it seems like the Cougars really haven't found an answer for the attack duo of Turnbow and Nathan Tabb.
I think Coach Lamb, like I said, put in his second line defense, so he's trying to send a message to that starting defense, which is a talented defensive line, looking just for maybe a little bit more hustle out of there. Taylor Redd, long stick midfielder out of Shelby, Michigan, coming in, getting the ground ball.
We get another look here at face-offs. BYU's leading 4-2, and this is what I'm talking about, where I think an area that BYU has really improved in over the past couple of years. These face-offs is able to give BYU possession of the ball, which gives them opportunities to score.
Number 38, Chris Warner, in his attack now from Manassas, Virginia. Junior for BYU, Chogany up top. Long stick on him. They're going to keep a long stick on Mark Chogany with a left-handed shot. That's a nice shot, a little bit high.
Yeah, I think the Aggies really have done their scouting, know that Mark Chogany is really a deadly weapon for the Cougars, so they really want to stick that long pull on him.
Nick Nash out of Draper, Utah, number 36. Trying to receive that pass there from Zach Davis, unable to. Texas A&M on the clear. Turnbow comes up with it. Tried to get the quick shot off as Jared Reif was coming over on the slide and just wings it wide.
He did. I think he even had a couple more steps to take on that and get him maybe a better angle and a better shot.
I think you heard the footsteps of Jared Reif coming after him on the slide and let it go a little bit early. Wheatley now defending Turnbow. Jared Reif going against Billy Kettler. Texas A&M taking it up top. Number 21, David Walkinshaw. Slowing it down for Texas A&M, going against Josh Austin, number 19. Austin taking a chance. Walkinshaw gets by him. Ball's on the ground. Zorko comes up with it, number 37. We got a penalty.
I think we're going to have a slash call on the BYU defender. I think that was number 7. Clark Collins. Yeah, I think he got, you know, the Aggie offensive man just fell down and Clark just got him right on the helmet.
So the Texas A&M Aggies are going to have a man-up situation for a minute. Another opportunity to increase their lead. Currently leading 3-2. And you can see Collins there in the penalty box. With 2:50 left in the first half.
Taking a look at the men-up opportunities here. Hasn't been too many so far in this game. BYU has 2 and A&M has 1. See if A&M can really capitalize on this opportunity here.
I actually think this is the third man-up situation for Texas A&M. And there's Kettler back over to Turnbow. And sticks up. Brian Kubish coming away with the interception. You can hear the coaches yelling, sticks up. Now Phil McClure, our face-off specialist for BYU, has a nice shot though when he gets a chance to take it.
He really does. I mean, if he has an opportunity to get open and just wing that, it's a scary thing for goalies.
So now BYU trying to waste the time on the penalty. So Lawler just standing in the box, wasting the time.
Just a little surprised that A&M's not trying to double team here.
Zach Davis now, the attackman coming up top. Just have to get it in the box every 10 seconds. And the penalty is released. Zach Austin coming on for the Cougars. So we've got an even up situation. Texas A&M unable to capitalize on the man-up.
Yeah, it's a great job by BYU's man-down defense and Brian Kubish, and seeing the pass, catching it, picking it off, and working right up to Phil McClure.
So Chris Warner over to Zach Davis. To Zach Austin, number 14. A lot of young guys getting some time here for the Cougars. Zach Austin looking to take it with a bulldog to the right. Nice little bounce shot, but Dabney snuffed it out. Dan Cole running after that one for BYU. As was James Manfield for Texas A&M. Texas A&M wisely calling for a horn on that play. Dan Cole was ready to take off. Manfield was 10 yards behind him, and Texas A&M called for a horn, stopped the play. So Dan Cole now ready to take it up the field for BYU. 1 minute left in the half. Texas A&M leading 3-2. We'll see if BYU gets another opportunity. Dan Cole just winding up and just shooting it right by Dabney.
And that's the rocket shot that we've been talking about and that the BYU players just love. Whenever he gets that opportunity, he can really fire a laser. You can see there, the goalie didn't move until the ball hit the net.
That was a fantastic shot. That'll get BYU fired up there.
See another look. He sees the opportunity and just unleashes a rocket.
It's a fantastic element of today's lacrosse, is that just that top shelf shot that just blows by the goalie. back in the day, we were always taught if you don't shoot it on the ground, you're coming out of the game.
I think a lot of players get away with the top, shooting it high to that top shelf because they have so much speed on it. The BYU players tell me that Dan Cole's shot is clocked over 100 miles an hour.
And that certainly was up there. Here comes Josh Austin going the other way. BYU winning that face-off. Josh Austin just missing Gunnarsson, cutting through the crease. Zach Davis there to back it up. Number 38, Chris Warner now at X. Controlling it for BYU. And it looks like we've got a timeout situation. BYU maybe looking to get another goal here with 28 seconds left in the half. Maybe go in, up, leading at half. I think maybe a little bit of a disappointment so far in the first half for BYU. And I think it'd be a great boost to morale to go in leading.
Yeah, like always, seems like BYU is really, taking over in this second quarter.
You can take a look there at the crowd. Good-sized crowd here. Beautiful day here at Southfield. Now at halftime we've got Jason Tang, and he's got the Tang teaser is what they call it. We're going to have an interview with both Coach Lamb and Coach Cesaro, and then stats and highlights as well. So you're going to want to stick with us through the halftime and get some more information as we look to see what's going to happen here in the second half. I suspect that BYU will certainly come out firing as they've certainly increased their play here in the second quarter.
They really have. They started out slow in the first quarter, but unfortunately that seems like what BYU Lacrosse does. And they've really stepped it up in the second quarter, and hopefully they can carry this momentum on throughout the rest of the game.
Texas A&M certainly shown up, had a great amount of hustle, controlled the ball, and I think have executed their game plan well. And have got to be pleased with the tie at this point in the game.
I agree. They came into this game ranked 19th, wanted to be in that top 10, the top 10 seeds, and is really playing like they deserve to be in that.
There's certainly a kind of a gap between those top echelon teams in the USLIA and then those middle tier teams, rankings, 8, 9, 10 and beyond. And certainly once teams can break into that, the talent level and the execution has to go up.
Yeah, and I believe Texas A&M is one of those teams that does have the talent, has the coaching that they, just a few more wins, they will be able to break up into that top 10.
So BYU, Mark Chogany up top, just beating his man, number 25, Tyler Cruzen, going to the left. Just looking for an isolation with Chogany. That's all they're doing. He's taking it. Gets a feed off. Number 25, Gunnarsson.
It was a great catch and a great shot by Gunnarsson, but an even better save by Dabney on that last one.
Just unable to get that one in there. So Dabney excited about the fact that Texas A&M going in 3-3. And I think BYU may be a little bit disappointed with that score at this point. So, an interesting first half. I think BYU is going to go in and regroup and, going to have to, I'm sure Coach Lamb's going to have a nice speech for them. Speech is a nice way to put it.
A passionate speech.
A passionate speech. And it looks like we've got Coach Lamb with Jason Tang here in just a minute. So as soon as we're ready, we'll pass it over to him. Another good look at the crowd here on Alumni Weekend. We're going to go ahead and toss it to Jason Tang right now here with Coach Lamb. Jason?
Okay, Coach, 3-3 after the first half. Tell me the things that your team's doing good and the things that need to improve upon.
They're not doing enough good. I think the things we got to improve on is our offense has got to get comfortable with the way A&M's going to play us. They're doing a great job, and if our defense, if the offense will just decide to settle in and run some stuff a little bit more comfortably. It's just jittery. It feels like it's the first day of school. I don't know why, but as soon as we can get the guys to settle down, I think things will go a little bit better.
Okay, and then we talked a lot about intensity earlier this week. Is your team giving out enough effort?
No. I think that they're trying in their head. I think their bodies are just ailing behind, and so it's unfortunate. But it's just not a good thing to be putting this kind of performance together on the home field. I wish that they could do a little better job of selling out. I'm not completely disappointed, I'll be honest. Got to give credit to Texas A&M. They come out ready to play, but we're certainly capable of doing better than we're doing.
Okay, and then what are you going to tell your guys so that you can take this one at the end of the day?
Well, the same thing we said at the beginning of the game. It's just you just got to win every little battle that's out there. You got to get after it, and we got to execute the things we're trying to run. Right now, they're caught between freelance and being disciplined, and you can't do that. So hopefully they can settle in and run the stuff we want them to run.
Okay, we want to thank Coach Lamb for stopping by and wish him the best of luck in the second half.
Thanks, sir. Looks like we're getting ready here to start the second half. I think Josh Austin's going to take this face-off, going against number 16, Will Sarche for Texas A&M. BYU's done well in the face-off so far today, and hoping to continue that dominance. Lawler fighting for that ground ball. I'll tell you, I've been impressed by Lawler's hustle out here today. If anybody's hustling for BYU, it's been him.
That's for sure. It seems like he's all over the field after ground balls, playing great defense, attacking on offense. He's doing a great job for the Cougars.
A couple of freshmen I've been impressed with, Lawler and then Dan Cole. That rocket shot bodes well for BYU in the future.
It really does.
Bouchard again, just getting mauled there by Lawler, stripping the ball. Cameron Archibald coming up with it, looking for the clear. Looking to go cross field with it. Get it to number 37, Taylor Red, long stick midfielder. Josh Austin losing the handle on that one, but Zach Davis coming over the ground ball.
So far, it seems that Coach Lamb's halftime pep talk really had an effect on these players. Are really coming out firing, really coming out aggressive and attacking.
They sure seem to come out fired up. You can hear in the huddle a lot of chatter, a lot of yelling. So we'll see if that translates into play on the field. Chogany now going to the right.
Chogany's going up against a short stick. Look for him to really try to maybe even dodge again, get the ball back and try to dodge against that shorty.
Josh Austin losing the handle there. Randall Cone, number 10, now slowing it down for BYU. Chogany can really go either way with it. He's going to go to the right. He likes that little jump shot. And Dabney picked that one right up. But
yeah, it just didn't seem like it had as much velocity as it usually does. And
that was an interesting situation for you lacrosse novices. The goalie here getting the save, and you're going to see
here on the replay, Chogany getting the rebound off of it. It looks like he has the goal, an easy shot, but then
they call the goalie interference.
Called the goalie interference, so called to go off.
The lacrosse novice out there, when the goalie has the ball in possession and is looking to clear, the defending player cannot impede his ability to pass the ball, and that's what happened in that one. So they call the goalie interference, and BYU was not allowed the goal, but BYU now stopping on the clear. They're going to get the ball back.
That's right. Great aggressive ride by BYU. You can see the BYU's bench is really getting up in it, and they really need to up the tempo here if they want to stay in it. Great check also.
Zach Davis losing it again. Despain with a nice check. That's the second time Zach Davis's stick has landed on the ground. The ball's down.
Another great aggressive ride by BYU. Hopefully, see if they can get the ball back. Nice job on Mark Chogany.
Chogany just taking it from Mazzolini. Pete Stevenson unable to finish. Dabney in the right place. Mazzolini now gets it to Dabney. I just heard Coach Dave Rucker telling the BYU players they're not working hard enough. Brian Kubish with a nice interception and a push. BYU's going to get a man-up situation.
That's just a poor decision by Nathan Tabb on that one. Clearly, Brian Kubish had the ball. There's clearly a push from behind. See if we can take another look at that. Brian Kubish making a great pick on the ball. And then just a blatant push from behind with possession by Nathan Tabb.
That's just a mental mistake. Kubish had a couple of steps on him, and just a frustration foul, I think, there by Tabb. But BYU's going to get an opportunity here on the man up. And you can take a look here in just a second at the ground balls for the third quarter. Kind of representative of BYU's hustle.
That's right. Looks like the pep talk actually did work. You can see that the ground balls, BYU's just hustling all over the field, scooping up those loose balls.
So BYU with a man-up situation. Mark Davis over to Chogany. Gets it over to Monteith with a nice shot. Again, Monteith out of Colorado, a 30-second penalty. Took a quick shot. It was a nice one. Goes wide left.
Yeah, it's nice to see BYU starting to get a little more aggressive on their shots.
Zach Austin gets it up to Chogany. Gets it over to Mark Davis, who is wide open. And there's a fabulous save by Dabney. That was fantastic. Mark Davis with the fake up high and goes low.
Yeah, you normally don't see a goalie, save a shot by Mark Davis that close in.
And there's Despain, the defenseman, with a save there. Thurr gets a nice underhanded shot, but Despain in the right place at the right time.
Got handed Texas A&M. They're coming out fired and wanting to win this game badly.
There's Thurr with the left-handed shot. Didn't quite get the velocity on it I think he was hoping.
Yeah, I don't think so. Going back to that last play, I don't think you would have saw me ever rush into the cage and trying to block a shot from point-blank range.
Well, the defensemen have a little different mentality.
That is true. They are a lot more tougher than I am. Let's take a look at saves here. Texas A&M, 15 saves, and I think that just has to do with BYU just taking, the initiative to just get more shots off. BYU just gets more, velocity in their shots and better placement, I think a lot more of the shots would go in.
So Monteith now for BYU controlling it. Just settling it down. Chogany now with the short stick behind, going against Greg Nell, number 4. It's an advantage BYU. Look for the slide. DeFore almost comes. Mark Davis with a nice roll dodge. A nice right-handed shot that hits the pipe and goes all the way back to midfield. Harris trying to scoop it up, gets it up to Pete Stevenson, but a nice spin move and a nice right-handed shot.
And that's what we kind of talked about earlier, is Mark Davis really has the ability to create opportunities. You can see there by him spinning and dodging and trying to get just, a little window of opportunity to get that nice shot off.
Pete Stevenson with a nice right-handed shot there. Shooting from the top of the box isn't necessarily where Coach wants him to be shooting from, but effective nonetheless.
Yeah, Coach either wants it to go on cage, in the goal, or wide so we get the backup.
And there was a nice little spin move by Chogany. So BYU coming out firing here in the second half. Not capitalizing yet with any goals, but I think Coach Lamb likes the aggressive nature.
Yeah, and it's great to see the leaders of the BYU offense, Mark Chogany, Mark Davis, really taking upon themselves to be aggressive and to take the initiative to dodge and to shoot.
So Randall Cohn now getting it over to Chogany. Chogany going with the left sweep with a spin to the right. Sees a wide open Josh Austin. Just tried to dink it in on the ground. Doesn't make it, but gets the rebound.
Nice.
Josh Austin with a nice little left-handed bounce shot. Not a lot of velocity on it, but was able to get his own rebound and put it in.
Yeah, Josh Austin's one of those shifty players, and you'll be able to see here on the instant replay. Mark Chogany makes a great pass, gets a great shot, but a great save by the goalie, and then be able to follow it through with a shot. Just nice little dunk, easy shot.
So I think BYU will take it. They go up and lead 4-3 with 10 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
You've seen that last possession, Mark Chogany was really dodging a lot more. I think it was because he was really having a field day going against the short stick. I'd be surprised if A&M really, doesn't put a long stick on against Mark Chogany.
Yeah, we're going to have a loose ball push. Oh, they call the goalie interference. Pete Stevenson now kind of stepping to block Dabney's way. Again, even on the follow-through of Dabney's throw, if he hits Pete Stevenson's stick, they're going to call interference.
That's right. Or if there's even any question, it always usually goes to the goalie. Goalie gets the benefit of the doubt.
So Texas A&M gets a free clear, taking it at the midfield X. Actually, there is no longer an X. I should point that out. Part of the new rules this year in the field dimensions, there is no X at the center. So Texas A&M not able to capitalize on that opportunity, and Cameron Archibald is going to take it for BYU.
Yeah, the BYU defense really hasn't played much defense this quarter because the BYU offense is really doing a great job of possessing the ball and really attacking the Aggies.
So Archibald now going to lead the clear for BYU.
Tell you what, I'd love to see Dan Cole on another dodge and just a nice crank shot.
We may get you wish. Dan Cole looking for the clear from Powers. Powers crosses the line and BYU's offsides. BYU is offsides. The BYU bench does not agree. They don't agree, and they don't agree vehemently, but they're going to call an offsides on BYU. So Texas A&M gets it back to Spain now. Tries a long clear, tries to get this into 4. Really what they call a buddy pass in the lacrosse lingo, which means you're leaving your buddy hanging out to dry.
And I've experienced that a couple times in my career. It's not too much fun on the receiving end.
Dan Cole now. You may get your wish here, Jordan.
I'd like to see him just take that shot right there.
And he did, and his goes wide right.
If it's on the cage, I think with that velocity it's going to go in, but, one wide right, luckily BYU got the backup.
Pete Stevenson, nobody on him. Texas A&M moving to a zone defense. Pete Stevenson just jukes the guy. Don't know if he so much juked him as he tripped over the net, but either way, the guy lands on the ground. Pete Stevenson puts it home.
Yeah, Pete Stevenson is not really known for his dodging ability, but he obviously did it there. I don't know if the Aggie player just fell down. We can take another look at it. Pete Stevenson recognizes, they're kind of in a zone formation. Defender falls down. He makes a great move and a great shot. Great placement by Pete Stevenson.
Certainly capitalized on that situation. The defender did trip over the net, but Pete Stevenson finished it.
And Pete Stevenson really does have a nose for finishing on this one. Just a great placement shot by Pete Stevenson.
Pete Stevenson, an interesting BYU player, started his college ball at UVSC, which is just down the road here from BYU, and played goalie and was the named as the all-league goalie for UVSC. So a multifaceted player, has been playing for quite a while and looking to make some serious contribution during his senior year. You can see Coach Lamb there with his board, and we'll take a look here at the shots during the third quarter.
Now this is really what BYU has wanted to do probably for the whole game. You can see here great defense by BYU to not allow Texas A&M to really possess the ball, let alone to get off shots. And BYU with 13 shots in that quarter, I mean, that's just unbelievable. That just goes to show that Coach Lamb's motivational speech really did have an effect on these guys, and that they're really coming out, wanting to win, understanding that this is an important game, coming out firing.
So certainly nothing decided yet, but BYU on a roll here so far in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. We're going to have a face-off, and I think this is where it starts for BYU, as they've dominated the face-off so far, and we're going to see if Josh Austin, number 19 for BYU, can continue that. There's a good look at Pete Stevenson.
The Cougars are really going to want to, pull away here and try to get a, comfortable lead against the Aggies. 5-3, 2 goals, that's not much in the world of lacrosse, especially with the playing of the attack duo on the Aggies, that could be easily made up.
So there was a nice face-off there by Texas A&M, just drawing it back. Bouchard, number 11, now controlling it. Going against Lawler, tough defender. Number 21, Walken Shaw, now controlling it for Texas A&M. Going against number 37, Taylor Red, long stick midfielder for BYU. Turnbow now controlling it. Haven't called his name in a while, but again, Texas A&M hasn't had an opportunity on offense. Walkinshaw now for Texas A&M. Going against Red.
It'll be interesting to see if BYU has made any changes on dealing with these attackmen, Ryan Turnbow and also Nathan Tabb, to see if they can shut him down or isolate him or contain him or stop him from being productive, really.
There's Tabb going against Brian Kubash. Kubash, a fantastic player and a great athlete. He was just an all-around athlete in his high school.
He really is, and what I love about Brian Kubash is just his aggression and just his passion to play the game. You'll never see him give up. You'll never see him fall down and stay down. He'll keep on attacking.
So Tabb, it looks like he's had enough of Kubash, gets it over to Turnbow. Going against Harris, and a nice save there by Glenn McKechnie. Again, we talked about that at the beginning of the program, that McKechnie comes into the second half, wants to give BYU a spark and really be the man here in the second half. Now we can watch Cameron Archibald just outrun the entire Texas A&M attack. Unfortunately, can't get over to Josh Austin. He picks up the ground ball anyway. So a nice clear single-handedly by Cameron Archibald.
It was a great save by Glenn McKechnie, and I think he also has to thank Jordan Harris on, Jordan getting his stick inside the offensive player's arms and really trying to pry that ball loose.
Zach Davis now controlling it for BYU, going against number 28 on Texas A&M to Spain. Chogany now up top. Going to slow it down while we get substitutions. Zach Davis taking it to X. Gets it over to Mark Davis. They just do a little switch there.
Yeah, that was a great play by the attackman. Little pick and roll and quick pass to the guy.
So Texas A&M very quick to double team Mark Davis. Here's Chogany up top going against Bouchard. The freshman, can he stay with him? Nice shot there by Chogany. Backed up nicely by Mark Davis. Mark Davis just very much a utility man for BYU. Does whatever he needs to.
Mark Chogany is really getting great dodges, but his shots just seem a little slower than usual. He is suffering from a thumb injury on his left hand, so I don't know if that's really something, his shooting ability.
There's Randall Cohn, again going top shelf. Nice shot, off stick side, goes right by Dabney.
That's right, and what I really like about this play, as you can see here, is Randall makes a great split dodge into the inside and just winds up and it's a great shot. Top right corner.
That's a tough save for any goalie. Opposite stick side, just right off the hip, between that shoulder and the hip area. That's the toughest place for the goalie to get his stick to. Okay, as we're ready for face-offs, you can take a look here, and BYU, again, dominating.
They are. It's still pretty close, but BYU is really starting to break away from that and really try to take over this game. As you can see here.
That was a beautiful move by Zach Austin on the swim move. Pete Stevenson down to Zach Davis, unable to get something off. Here's a Collinsworth, the long stick midfielder with us. Oh, and Mark Davis finishes it off.
That was just a great face-off, number one to begin with. Great transition goal, great passing. got to give props to the long stick, number 7, Clark Collins, on that play.
Clark Collins taking a shot.
Take another replay here. Mark Davis learning from his past experience, faking high and going low, getting stuffed by the goalie. On this one, as you can see again, great pass. Davis with the rebound on the shot, fake high, and he goes high. You can see the goalie went a little bit to the fake, but started going low because he thought Davis would go low. Davis just sticks it high.
Another face-off for Zach Austin. BYU really trying to put Texas A&M away here. Zach Austin going in. Backed up nicely by number 38, Chris Warner. Collins, I think, not meaning to actually use the bounce pass, but used it effectively.
It worked either way, and we'll give him credit for that. He was trying to make the bounce pass instead of a shot.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
That's right.
Zach Austin with 2 dominating face-offs, taking it right down, giving BYU a couple of fast break opportunities. And he says, I'm going to crank this one, but just playing catch with the goalie Dabney.
You know, it was a great shot. He had good velocity, but he just shot it, right into a stick. Poor placement. If he just moves a little over, varied up, maybe bounce shot or top right, he could score a goal.
Mark good for Texas A&M, losing the ground ball. And Cole coming up with a nice chuck, but the referee didn't like it.
Looks like Cole pulled out his baseball swing on that one, and refs unfortunately saw it, and BYU be in the penalty box.
They're going to call a slash on that one. Dan Cole, and I'll tell you, I just can't say it enough, Dan Cole and Scott Lawler both impressing me here today, and got caught on that one a little bit.
Sure, BYU, I mean, it's a lot of young talent, but it is still talent, and these young guys, these freshmen are really producing.
So BYU in a man-down situation. We get to see Texas A&M man-up situation again. Haven't been real effective in their man-up so far. And then again, Ryan Cougars taking it right out of Jumbo's stick.
Again, wow. You can look at the man-up opportunities for both teams. They're about even, BYU, I think, might be a little better job capitalizing on the man-up.
And Warner, triple team there by Texas A&M, but able to get by him, and now BYU has an opportunity to waste some time on this penalty. So Kubesh taking it right out of the air, and very effective play now for BYU.
Look for BYU here to really kill the man-up penalty. The Aggies are really going to try to double team.
There's a flag down. BYU now is going to get an opportunity. They're going to be in an even situation for a couple of seconds, and then BYU is going to be man up. So nice play there by number 6, Tyler Monteith, able to kill that penalty.
This rare 5-on-5 situation, BYU actually practices for this opportunity. So look for BYU to really be organized, know what they're doing, and really being able to attack and score goals.
So they're going to be even here for a couple of seconds, and they're going to have a man-up situation. And that being a slash, it's going to be a minute penalty on the Texas A&M player. And BYU is going to have an opportunity in a couple of seconds here to run their man-up offense. A little confusion here on the BYU bench, but they're in a even situation here for a couple of seconds. Mark Davis, if he sees a seam, he's just going to go anyway. Saw the opportunity, but Dabney.
I don't know how Dabney came up with that save, and Mark Davis made a great move, and he was wide open,
Equal to the task. Now BYU is going to be in a man-up situation. Oh, Monteith again trying to take the chance. Saw Davis wide open right on the side of the crease, unable to capitalize, but BYU is in a man-up situation now for about 40 seconds.
I think that pass was just a little forced. I can understand the desire to see that and really trying to get something going. Once again, the Aggies make a poor clear and give right back to the Cougars.
That's been a trouble spot for Texas A&M today. I mean, that's 3 or 4 clears where they've just have not capitalized due to errant passes by their goalie, freshman goalie Dabney.
Yeah, it really is. You can't give BYU opportunities to play offense like that, especially when your goalie's playing a great game and making great saves for you.
And when BYU's hot, scoring 4 goals in the second half, Dabney goes out of the crease. Pete Stevenson takes it away from him, tries to dump it in, unable to do so.
I'm not so sure what the call was on that one.
The referee's giving it to Texas A&M. And Mark,
take another look at that one here. Pete Stevenson, aggressive ride, tries to make something happen. Looks like a shot, but looks like they give it back to the Aggies, but looks like BYU got the ball back.
So an interesting series of events there, but BYU back in control. Pete Stevenson.
And probably the biggest difference here in this game so far has really been the total shots here. BYU is just completely outscoring the Aggies here. And especially, I think it's just all due to the second quarter and the third quarter.
There's a nice transition goal, though, by Texas A&M. Tab blows it right by Glenn McKechnie. I think BYU may be caught out of position.
Yeah, you know, it was a great transition play. BYU had the numbers, but Texas A&M was able to make a great pass and find the open man. Just got a great shot off.
Excellent opportunity for Texas A&M to slow down BYU. They had just been dominating this third quarter, scoring 4 goals to Texas A&M's 1, but maybe slow BYU down a little bit with that goal. So we got Phil McClure and number 16 for Texas A&M, Will Sarche, out there on the faceoff. And it looks like the referee doesn't like what he sees. Gonna make him stand up, do it again.
Go, guys! Go, Phil! Go,
And there's Phil McClure. Sarche popping it back.
Well, and that's dangerous.
And now he's got it on a 4-on-3 fast break. Going down to Turnbow.
BYU's wingmen were just way out of position on that one and just gave up that, you know, great fast break for A&M.
Billy Kettler slowing it down over to Turnbow. Gets up to good, number 9 for Texas A&M. Taking it to the right. Doesn't have a lot of angle there. Phil McClure with a nice check. Now a double team.
Great double team.
And who's there again? Scott Lawler, number 11. Clearing it up to number 37, Taylor Red. Taylor Red, long stick, 4-on-3, BYU. Gunderson tries to dunk it in. Unable to do so, and Dabney comes up with it. Looking for the clear. Goes on to DeFore, number 8. DeFore bringing it up. Texas A&M didn't really have numbers. Longstick wasn't really looking to take it. And Kettler's going to settle it down. Goes to tab number 46.
I think A&M really needs to slow the pace of the game down here a little bit and start, you know, take control again of the tempo. You know, try to work with those 2 great attackmen right as they're doing right now and try to, you know, produce something.
So tab going against Curtis Salmon, number 4 for BYU. Now Turnbow up top against short stick, Phil McClure. We'll see if Turnbow wants to take it on the short stick. He's going to run right by him with the left hand. And there's a nice save by Glenn McKechnie.
Great save by Glenn, too. There was no slide on that dodge. I was a little surprised on BYU's defense, but Glenn stepped up, made a great save.
Taylor Red with a nice ground ball. Gets it up to Wheatley, number 40. Gets to number 38, Warner, who gets clocked. Referee's going to call a penalty. They call a push. Coach Cesaro does not agree.
You know, I'm not so sure I agree with that call.
Let's take a look at this, see if we can get a good feel.
At this angle, you know, it's a great hit.
I
you
don't
know,
know.
it could have gone either way. I think it was more on this side. I don't think I would have called it, but it could have gone either way, and since the ref called it, BYU man-up opportunity.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M has a legitimate beef on that one. That one looked a little close, but BYU's going to have another man-up opportunity with 2:08 here left in the third quarter and leading 7-4. Mark Chogny's going to take it up top. It's over to Zach Austin. Number 27, Jordan Thur. So back to Mark Davis, number 13, over to Chogny. Just working around on the wheel. Zach Austin now. Mark Davis. Good little mismatch. Zach Austin looking to shoot. Chogny over to Monteith. Thur with a very nice goal.
And that's a textbook man-up play by BYU. I mean, great movement, great ball movement, and able to work it around. You know, they switch, that way A&M's defense gets out of position. If we can take another look at that, you can see great passing by BYU. A&M's defense gets a little out of position, draw the double team, make it easy pass down to next to the crease, and a great shot.
You can take just another different angle here at this. Monteith sees the open man third, just standing there right on the crease, and was smart to go low, as Dabney's been very effective up high today. But yeah, like you said, textbook man up. You've got an extra man. All you're trying to do is get the defense out of position. And,
on man up, you don't even really need to run a play. As long as you're moving.
Mark Davis.
Can't come up with it.
So nice face-off situation there by Josh Austin. Gets the fast break. BYU had numbers. Mark Davis just unable to capitalize.
Yeah, you don't really see that too often. Mark Davis dropping a pass that close to the goal. You know, almost a shore goal on that one.
And here comes Pete Stevenson with a nice left-handed shot. Monteith with his athleticism trying to take the left-handed shot, and Texas A&M player number 26 gets in there. Prochaska to break that one up.
You know, it's great to see BYU attacking right now because A&M's defense is getting a little unorganized, especially with so many, you know, shots and then backup shots and then rebounding the shots and stuff. BYU really has an opportunity to cut, have somebody get open and find them and get a great shot off.
So now BYU looking to settle up. Monteith, again, very athletic there behind. Moving his player. Chogany's just going to crank it. Looked like Dabney got a piece of that. Couldn't tell, but looked like he got a little piece of that one.
So. I think Dabney kind of saw that shot all the way and was able to move his stick in time to get a little piece of it.
So here's Randall Cohn in for BYU over to Chogany. Gets it over to Monteith, number 6. Defended there by number 26 for Chaska. Using a little time. There's 30 seconds left here in the quarter. I think he's getting that. Monteith, the nice move and a nice save by Dabney.
Yeah, Dabney's, for a freshman, he's playing absolutely amazing today, it seems like. These BYU players are getting really close shots, and he's just stuffing them.
He's been very effective up high, as he was on that one. Chogany faked himself out on that one, and he's going to get a penalty call. This should be an interesting situation.
I think Chogany meant to do that to get the penalty.
They've got to hold it. He's got to hold it, or else the ball is going to be a face-off. Except BYU's going to get the man-up situation. Interesting situation. Another rule change this year that if the ball is in the air and not in the player's stick, they do not get position at the quarter. In the past,
that is right.
If they were moving offensively, even if it wasn't in their stick, and they completed the pass, they would get the possession, but changing the rules this year. So they want to make sure that that ball's in the stick. They get an opportunity to do so with 1 second left, and they're going to start fourth quarter 2 men up.
Yeah, and that's fortunate for BYU. That's a break for BYU to have that 1 second left in order to retain possession.
So you're just going to see Mark Chogany hold that ball for 1 second. We're going to go into the fourth quarter. BYU up 8-4, and certainly a different BYU team this third quarter than what we saw in the first half. We're going to take a break here as we jump into the fourth quarter. BYU leads Texas A&M 8-4. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, welcome back. Let's join Jason Tang, who's in the stands with Michigan coach John Paul. Jason?
We're here with Coach Paul. Now, Coach, how have you been preparing for the game against the Cougars tomorrow?
We feel like we know the Cougars pretty well. We've played them every year for a while now. It's become a great rivalry. I think both teams know each other really well. So we're not going to do a whole lot different from what we do every time we play them.
Okay, and you're here watching the game. You know, obviously it's Texas, A&M, and BYU. What have you been able to pick up from watching this game about both teams?
We're really here to watch A&M a little bit more. Again, I feel like we know BYU pretty well. We've already seen them last week. We saw them down in Arizona. We're playing A&M at their place in a few weeks, so we're here to watch them tonight.
And have you been able to pick up anything that will help you in your strategy?
I think a little bit. Yeah, I think a few things.
Don't want to give any of your secrets away, huh?
Not tonight.
Okay, well, we want to wish you the best of luck tomorrow. The game's right here at Southfield at 1 p.m.
Thanks, Jason. And BYU is playing Michigan tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here in Southfield, and that will follow the annual alumni game, which is at 9 o'clock for all of you.
Important game, the 9 o'clock alumni old man game.
For all of you lacrosse fanatics at the RB Turf Field. So certainly our priorities are straight. But BYU in a man-up situation. It looks like only 1 man up, so it looks like they've given the same player a double penalty. And Chogany now over to Zach Austin. Gets it around to Davis, to Thur, back to Davis. Just working their man up, patience. Thur, Davis, up to Austin, over to Chogany. He's going to shoot it. And a nice save there by Dabney, getting a piece of it. Jordan Thur pressured there very heavily by Despain, and he might pay for that.
Once again, great movement by BYU man-up offense. You know, they're really moving the ball around and able to find those open shooters.
So Zach Austin with that last shot. BYU, again, very effective, getting the shots that they need to. Jordan Thur, number 27, is going to start it for BYU, gets it over to Monteith. Played a good game today, Monteith has. Austin over to Mark Davis. And Pete Stevenson just with a little dink and dunk over the goalie. Again, very effective man-up play there by BYU.
It really is. That was actually my favorite play in man-up situation. You can see just wide open right there. I think that's the Pete Stevenson. Just what, you know, because Mark Davis carries the ball up, Pete Stevenson kind of cars it down and leaves him wide open. you know, he's so wide open he has time to throw about 5 fakes.
He's got like 3 fakes, and you know, no goalie's going to stop it when you got time like that. And the last 2 man-up situations for BYU, the same result, the exact same placement of the goal, and you know, kind of unfair for the freshman goalie in that situation. So Zach Austin with another face-off going. They got numbers, BYU does, and Texas A&M snuffs it out. Trying to come up with it good. Gets the Malachi crunch there from Collins and Lawler. For all of you Happy Days fans, Lawler and Collins on Malachi crunch. Zach Austin behind the back. Oh my goodness, that's a little bit of hot dog.
Guarantee his older brother Josh Austin's going to hear about that for the rest of the season. That was just a great play. You can see the Aggie defense just standing around. And we got a great dodge and a great pass here right over to Zach, and just a great shot behind the back. Dabney had no idea where that was coming from. You see,
that brings the crowd back a little bit too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Brings his teammates back into it also. Everybody loves to see a nice, good behind the back shot.
So BYU now goes up 10-4, and just an amazing shot there by Zach Austin. Hopefully his older brother Steve saw that on TV and was proud. But
Steve would be proud on that one. He really would.
Phil McClure,
Steve
again,
probably taught him that behind the back shot.
BYU getting the offense and getting the face-off and getting down into their offense.
BYU is really taking control of this game, and if they can continue with this momentum, you know, it'll be all over for A&M.
And there's Davis again coming up with it. Monteith over to Stevenson. Double team in the middle. Big Pete trying to get that goal and unable to do so.
Yeah, I know BYU is trying to get something started, but I think that pass was maybe a little forced that time.
So Texas A&M is going to have a chance to clear. A little wind kicking up here in Provo, giving the crowd a little chill. And Spain now for Texas A&M. Turnbull waiting down in the corner. McKechnie saw that. Comes way out of the goal to intercept it, and then throws it away again. You've got Greg Nell coming down for Texas A&M. McKechnie able to get back. Turnbow. Now back to number 47, James William for Texas A&M.
Now, if A&M's going to have a chance to come back in this game, they really need to get something started right here. You know, I'd look to really their offensive leaders, Tab and Turnbow, to get something started here.
So number 4, Curtis Salmon coming up with it for BYU.
BYU is starting to really play as a team here, which is something you didn't really see in the first quarter. So I'm sure Coach Lamb is probably feeling a little more relaxed about how his team's playing.
We've got Mark Davis here controlling from behind for BYU. Now with 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter, BYU seems to have a good situation. Another flag down for Texas A&M, and BYU seemingly in hand, getting a lot of players in. And they've got a flag down situation, so.
Yeah, I don't know if Texas A&M is just starting to get frustrated or what, but it seems like they're starting to play a little, you know, out of line, little undisciplined, little unorganized, resulting in the penalties.
So BYU in control here, Monteith, while we've got Monteith going after this goal here. Well, trying to dodge in the cage. Gets it off to number 15. That's Dreher. The nice upper shelf shot, just right over the goalie.
That was just a great shot by John Michael Dreher there. Let's see if we can get another look at that. Falls down, but he picks himself right back up, makes a strong dodge, and shoots. He doesn't even care that he has 2 defenders hanging off him. He still is able to get a fantastic shot off that just beats Dabney high.
Just blows it right by. So, hey, while we've got, it's the Alumni Weekend, as we've mentioned, I think, and we've got a guest here in the booth with us. Rodman Likes will be the latest inductee later tonight into the BYU Lacrosse Hall of Fame. And Rod, I'm sure this is one of the proudest moments of your life.
Absolutely is. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be a part of this weekend. This is exciting. BYU is coming out. They're playing a great game tonight, and we're looking forward to playing tomorrow morning, the alumni game at 9 a.m.
Well, I'm sure we're looking forward to watch Rodman play. I'll tell you, the characteristic about Rodman was the league coaches would never vote him all league because he was too aggressive as an attackman. They didn't like him hitting their defensemen. So
that's unbelievable.
They had a little bias against him, but
that's too bad.
Certainly, Rodman carried us there in the early '90s, and fantastic player. Now, Texas A&M is going to get a penalty. Had a whistle, little extracurricular activity, and
yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I think just the frustration is really settling in here into the Texas A&M Aggies, and
looks like Walkinshaw just, right here, boom.
Frustration just trying to take his head off, really,
I mean, there was a whistle long before that, so they're going to certainly penalize him for that.
I wouldn't be surprised to see BYU man up for the rest of the game.
They gave him 1 minute for an unnecessary roughness penalty, and Rodman, you never had any of those, did you?
Absolutely not. I was just seeing that play saying, that's a little reminiscent of the old days.
I think Rodman averaged about 2 or 3 unnecessary roughness penalties per game, but
they were all clean hits, of course.
Hey, I have no doubt. So you got Zach Austin now, BYU man-up situation again, leading 11-4. Let's see if this very effective BYU man-up offense is going to score once again. Third back over to Mark Davis. Zach Austin. Third. Back to Mark Davis. Again, just a little pass and catch, just waiting for Texas A&M to be out of position. Very effective. Chogany maybe getting a little impatient there.
Yeah, I don't know if Chogany was trying to dodge in that situation, but when you're man up, you don't really want to dodge. It's not the smartest thing to do. What you want to do is, as they were doing before, work the ball around quick, wait for the Aggies to move and motion, get out of place, and just exploit where they're weak.
Our old strategy was just to give it to Rod and just let him run. And,
well, that works too if you have some guy that can bowl through the whole defense.
It was pretty effective strategy, and it took some pretty serious coaching to come up with that strategy.
Oh, nice check.
Oh, and there was a fantastic hit. Fantastic check. And I'll tell you, Despain,
let's take another look at that play.
He had a little wobble in the knees there.
Great ride there.
There's the check.
Great check. Ball goes flying out of his stick, and Brian Cougars just says a little, how you doing?
And you can see a little wobbly here. And I think the Texas A&M coach has a point. He was complaining a little late on that one, and I think that was probably legitimate beef.
I do too. I think he's pretty valid in his argument there.
So here's Chogany over to Monteith. He sees an open goal.
Oh, great goal. That's just a great shot. I mean, BYU is really just having a field day out there in the man up. Take another look at this great shot. Monteith really just sees it all the way. Nobody comes out to pressure him. Just shoots a laser right past Abney.
This goalie has been pretty solid all game long, and it seems like the second half he's kind of fallen apart a little bit. BYU has scored a lot of goals in the upper shelf, which is interesting.
Yeah, because he was very strong up top in the first half, I thought, and I thought they were more effective down low. And I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if they're just worn out or.
Seems like almost his defense is giving up on him. They didn't come on pressure Monteith on that last shot. They haven't really been in the correct positions on man down and playing defense against these Cougars.
Yeah, BYU now getting this face-off. Josh Austin now trying to take it. The Texas A&M player was using his foot to kick the stick out of the way. There's Monteith now controlling it. Certainly on this alumni weekend, a lot of alumni in town. A lot couldn't make it today. We like to give. What do the kids say now? Want to give a shout out, or give the shout out to
hooking up with some props.
Hooking up with the props.
Our buddy Charlie Friedman, the BYU Lacrosse Hall of Famer defenseman Charlie Friedman, is celebrating his wife's birthday today, unable to be with us. And I don't know why his wife wouldn't want to come attend a BYU Lacrosse game for her birthday, but to each his own.
Absolutely. Now, wasn't he commentating for a game when his wife went into labor?
Yeah, he was on the phone.
Did he actually leave for that, or did he stay and finish the game?
He was on the phone, and it was close. It was certainly close, but they made it okay. So BYU going to take, or actually Texas A&M going to take possession of the ball here with 9 minutes 42 seconds. BYU leading 12-4. Defensive midfield coming in against Scott Lawler and Collins, and number 36 for BYU, Nick Nash.
I've really been impressed with Scott Lawler. I mean, he has just really been all over the field tonight, playing excellent defense against these Aggies.
Once again, Texas A&M fails to clear the ball, and that's been their Achilles heel today.
I think the elevation has a lot to do with the way they're wearing out this second half.
Yep. Which is going to be tough. They've got 2 more games this weekend, and it's going to be a tough road for them next couple of games. But another alumni that we certainly want to recognize would be Greg Saunders, watching us up in Tabor, Canada.
Hey,
beauty.
Hey, you doing up there, eh?
And we certainly want to give him some love as, early on in the BYU program, it was a tenuous beginning. Didn't have a lot of funds, and lacrosse wasn't really organized at the national level. And, I think he certainly single-handedly kept the program alive for a couple of years. So
I'm sorry you're not here, Greg.
So, beauty, eh? Go play some hockey. Oh, they're not playing hockey. Sorry.
Oh, no, just having some donuts.
So there's Alex Bouchard going the other way for Texas A&M. Loses the ball. Again, I think just, maybe some fatigue setting in there. There's no reason he should have lost that. Kubish going the other way. The crowd getting into it. Kubish hangs his stick, and Turnbow, who's been really held in check here, just can't get it done. It's getting a little chippy out there. Turnbow took a swipe there at wheelie number 40, and it's getting a little chippy. Got to watch this. Referee's got to reel this one in. See, the last 8 minutes don't get into a little nastiness.
That's right, and A&M, and they really need to push it here. See,
now we've got a flag down.
For.
I think they're going to call a slash.
Slash.
And Harris took one right in the gut.
That was on Josh Austin. Taking our look at that. See, I'm not seeing
I think it's right there.
Probably
it's
right there. Yeah, it looks like he cocked his stick back and hit him right across the back.
On the backside, and then Harris taking one for the team, so to speak, but took one right in the gut. And, hopefully he'll get back in here shortly. But he's going to take a little breather.
He'll be okay. He'll probably be showing off the bruise later on tonight.
Jared Reif in for him. Kubish now defending. Tab up top to Bouchard. Back to Turnbow. Turnbow he just stays on that wing. That's where he is. Lawler hustling again. Very impressed with him today. Have I said that?
I think we've said his name more than anybody else on the field.
He just got him.
He's just all over there's 5 Aggies there trying to keep up with him, and they can't do it.
This may be altitude. Look at this. Chris Warner cutting through. The right look, just unable to execute, but Lawler ran by 5 guys.
Yeah, not only did he hustle and get the ground ball and run it down, but he made a great find, had the patience to control the ball, and told Chris Warner, made that cut towards the goal, and he just made a great, fantastic pass. Too bad Chris Warner couldn't come up with it.
So, Rod, are we gonna see the infamous Likes roll dodge tomorrow?
Absolutely. I've been working on it in my basement.
It's gonna be fantastic. It's legendary. Things of legend. So Turnbow gets it across, unable to connect with number 47, James William. Gets it back to Todd, number 46. Matt Wheely, the freshman out of Oakton, Virginia. Sorry. Done a good job in there today. A lot of young players for BYU getting a lot of good time. BYU, a unique situation in that every year they turn over a lot of players with missions and with players that get older, oftentimes have other commitments that they're involved in, and tough for BYU, but impressive for Coach Lamb to keep putting on a good product.
It's true. I mean, credit to Coach Lamb. He's dealing with a new team every single year. New strengths, new talents, new players, but he always seems to put together a great program and a great team that always competes for the national title.
So BYU looking to clear. Archibald looking for somebody. There's McKechnie, the goalie, bringing it up again. Can handle it very well. And number 36, Nick Nash from Alta High School, local product, just unable to handle it. Alta High School, formerly coached by BYU Lacrosse alum Brad Hawes, who's moved away from the Utah area and hopefully watching us back in Virginia.
Hey Brad, how you doing? Hope you're watching.
And we've got a flag down for Texas A&M, which means BYU is
too many men on the field, I believe, what it is.
So as soon as this ball is out of play, Texas A&M is going to have a man-up situation. Archibald defending Todd, doing a good job. Moving his feet really well. You young defenseman out there, want to keep your feet moving. Todd tries to make something happen, but knows that he's going to have a man-up situation.
It was a great dodge by Tab there. He realizes that, hey, I got to get something going here. My team's down 12-4. If we have any chance of coming back, we got to score now. And he makes a great dodge. Too bad he just couldn't finish.
So there's a good look at Coach Lamb. Great success here at BYU. Has been a figure in the national USLA lacrosse scene and in the national scene in general. I mean, he's been involved with a lot of the Division I programs. And
taking a look at the men up opportunities during the game, it seems about even here BYU had a good stretch of man up opportunities this second half. Let's see if Texas A&M can really capitalize on this man up opportunity.
5 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the game. Texas A&M looking to put a couple more points on the board, make a good showing. The first and second halves, really two different BYU teams out there.
Oh, it really is, you know, and as we said earlier, that this is kind of unfortunately characteristic of BYU lacrosse.
Referee was waiting for that one. I watched him walk right up to that loose ball situation, and he was just waiting.
That's right.
And as Brian Cougars comes in here, you see Archibald going after him, probably gets a slash or two, and then the push from behind. Pretty obvious call.
Definitely.
Number 14, that's Mazzolini for Texas A&M.
So he's going against Mark Chogany. And Mark Chogany is really an amazing defensive midi. He started as a defensive midi for UMBC his freshman year, the Division I program.
You can almost sense that there's no urgency on the A&M team to take it to the cage and score a goal. They just kind of want to play controlled offense.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually really surprised by that. I mean, 4 minutes left, I'd be trying to take it to the cage every time.
Absolutely. They're not playing very aggressively, in my opinion.
They might be just trying to get out of here. They've got two strong games here with Colorado tomorrow and then Utah on Sunday.
A great check. I think that's Phil McClure, his famous wrap check. Phil likes to pull out that wrap check. Anytime he's playing defense one-on-one, you'll probably usually see it. Most of the time it works, sometimes it gets penalties.
Yeah, is there something special about the orange mesh that Phil's using there?
I think that was his old high school colors. I'm not exactly sure on that, but you see a lot of these players are actually using different color mesh. Mark Chogany's using a navy blue color also. It seems to be the in thing this year.
See, with the contract with the STX, I would have expected some of these players. Look at that, just wide open. Mark Chogany walks into the middle.
I guarantee right now Mark Chogany's getting frustrated. He's probably had at least 10, maybe 12 shots this game and hasn't put one past Dabney. And right now you just see he wants one bad. He wants to just go one-on-one right there and probably get another shot off. Here he goes. Just can't get it on cage, unfortunately.
Nope, needs to tweak a few of those strings in the mesh.
It's true.
Well, I think a lot of these new sticks and these younger players, I think they need to go to the old SAM.
There you go.
The
old
STX
SAM.
should be able to hook them up with the SAMs.
I think the last time I saw Sam was back in maybe 91, 92.
The old STX wood shafts. I mean, I might pull mine out tomorrow.
You should. The broken arrow
shaft, yeah.
That'd be nice.
The stick I favored growing up was always the STX Turbo.
The Turbo was
that was, I think, a favorite among players.
And then, of course, there's the Excalibur.
The Excalibur.
I think I still have one of those in my trunk.
With the crooked arrow wooden shaft.
That's right. I think half our team had that in high school. And we had leather helmets.
Weighs about 50 pounds. Leather helmets.
Yeah, technology has certainly changed this game, just as it has done many sports like golf.
It's fantastic. It's just fantastic to see the skill level of these players and the production from both teams, both squads. The level of play that they have in this league is just fantastic. And the top teams in the USLAA, have had opportunity to compete against top junior college and Division II and III teams, and even some Division I teams in fall ball. BYU got to play against Towson University this fall, and fared well as far as the level of lacrosse that they're able to play. So, great opportunities for these players. Little roll dodge.
Nice roll dodge.
And he's going to the cage. BYU has numbers. Oh, unable to convert with Gunderson. From a nice, beautiful day to a nice, cold, biting wind.
The sun has gone down. The wind has picked up. It is definitely chilly.
And here's Cole. It's a nice shot.
Reminds you that you're in Utah when it's a warm afternoon, and then once the sun goes down, it turns bitter cold.
Turns very cold.
Speaking of technology, Haro Sports was here earlier. They're out of Colorado. They've got a shaft nowadays that costs about $140. That's more than all my equipment cost 10 years ago.
Well, it's because these shafts now are using special, spaceships, shuttle technology, where some sort of composite alloy.
You didn't have to used to be a rocket scientist to play lacrosse.
True.
Apparently
Right,
you do
true.
now.
The double matrix carbon fiber shafts.
Okay, we've got a minute 57 left. Texas A&M is going to have, BYU's going to have a man-up opportunity, I'm sorry. And they're going to look to put another one on. Looks like the Texas team's calling it good for the night. They should be used to this cold.
The Michigan team?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Won't affect them.
They're heading up to the Upper Peninsula.
Okay, let's go.
And that's really going to be an interesting game tomorrow, BYU against Michigan. Michigan coming in ranked, 5th, and BYU 3rd in the latest polls. But BYU really needs a win over Michigan.
Yeah,
in order to stay up in that top, third spot, they really need to come out firing. And to tell you the truth, if they come out slow in the beginning like they did in this game, I think Michigan just has a talent where they're just going to run up on them 10 goals.
Yeah. Michigan has some outstanding athletes on their squad this year, so BYU is going to have to bring their A game tomorrow.
They really do, and they have a lot of young players. Freshman attackman Fox, his first name escapes me right now, but he, I think, is the leading scorer in the Michigan team, and he is just an explosive player.
Well, so that defense really needs to play, which they had a hard time at the beginning of this game, that starting defense. So it'll be an interesting matchup tomorrow, and I'm sure you can track scores on USLA.com as you can find out what the scores are going to be. So
hopefully BYU got out their first home game jitters today, and we'll be able to come out solid tomorrow.
I'm sure it's playing in front of all these impressive alumni like Rod that's got them a little bit jittery. They were nervous.
I'm not even sure they know we're in the stands.
That settled them down, but certainly want to thank all those across the country who have been viewing tonight's game, and hopefully you'll join us again for our future broadcast. We've got a couple of games that we're going to be doing this spring, and encourage your feedback, and hopefully you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. We're going to be, the next broadcast that we've got will be Brigham Young University versus Colorado State University on March 15th, and that's at 7 p.m. That's Mountain Time, and that's a fantastic rivalry, very heated rivalry. The last couple of years, all the games going down to the wire, only separated by a couple of goals, and so these top teams in the USLIA, are not separated by a lot, and so it's been. Those top 6, 7, 8 teams, any team can beat any team on any given day.
It's true, and that BYU-CSU rivalry is probably one of the greatest in the USLIA. And what makes it so great is just the amount of intensity. Both teams really have that date marked on their calendars since, the end of last year's national tournament.
Yeah,
so I guarantee both teams will be ready to come out and play.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a fantastic game. BYU's playing all the top teams in the USLA this year. They have a home game against UC Santa Barbara. They're playing at Sonoma State. Have already played Arizona, play CU, CSU, Michigan tomorrow. So all those top 6, 7 teams, they're going to play all of them. So they're going to get all the experience that they need for the tournament coming up in May.
That's right. BYU always plays great teams throughout their schedule. Unfortunate for us, most of those great games are the home games where we get to see them on TV.
And the national tournament this year moved from St. Louis up to Minnesota, and should be a great facility and a great sports complex that they've got up there. And I think everybody anxious to experience that. But,
yeah, I agree. I think everybody's really excited about that change. I think those facilities up in Minnesota are top notch.
Hopefully the snow will all be melted by then. Oh, he's number 23, Mike Mosel, freshman midfielder. Trying to just take it in, getting a little time here at the end of the game and taking a shot. So good for Mike.
Yeah, it's great to see these younger players, that are, kind of on the second string players get some playing time, because they work just as hard as those first teamers, during practice, and nice for them to come out and showcase their skills and abilities.
So with 7 seconds left, BYU, Cameron Archibald, getting it back to McKechnie. He'll probably just throw it down the field. Decides to run it out. What do I know? I'm not a goalie. And good game there by Texas A&M. McKechnie going over to congratulate Turnbow. But, I think BYU, it's just the difference in the first and second half. And Turnbow really ineffective in the second half, but I think that's more a case of BYU controlling the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Texas A&M kind of wore out there in the first half. They played hard. They came aggressively, but unfortunately they lost the wind in their lungs.
Well, and Coach Cesaro mentioned that they had a couple of players that got injured, and that may have impacted them over the course of the game. And, so BYU with a good win, solid win. Certainly, I think they were expected to win, favored to win, and you know, I think they can take from this second half a positive experience going into the Michigan game tomorrow, because Michigan, I think, will be a different team than this Texas A&M team.
Oh, absolutely. Michigan is a high-class, high-talent team, and hopefully BYU will be able to continue this momentum.
We're going to go ahead and step aside here for just a second. The final score of today's game, Brigham Young University 12, Texas A&M 4. We're going to be right back with the final stats in just a minute. And welcome back. Texas A&M falling to BYU 12-4, and this certainly will help BYU in the standings. You know, they've got to win those games that they're expected to win, and Texas A&M, probably won't hurt them too much. You know, they'll be right around probably the same spot that they've been in the last little while. And you take a look here at the final stats.
Yeah, taking a look at the stats, I think the biggest difference is really just shots, ground balls, and face-offs. I mean, BYU, we saw the stats in the first half of the game. They were pretty much dead even. Then once BYU kind of found themselves, got over their nerves, they were really able to take control of the games, out-shooting A&M 62-22. I mean, that's unbelievable. And including, I think, one of the biggest improvements for BYU this year is face-offs. You know, BYU winning 13 and the only team winning 5. That's really, really big for BYU.
Absolutely. And, you know, it is interesting. Just the difference of two halves for BYU. Fantastic effort, and I think Coach Lamb will be pleased with that. Certainly won't be pleased and want to improve on the lackluster first half, particularly against Michigan. It's going to be a tough, it'll be a tough game tomorrow. Fantastic game. If you're in the area, come down South Field here at 1 o'clock. It'll be a fantastic day, fantastic weather, and be a great USLA lacrosse game. Certainly want to thank Texas A&M Aggies for coming out today, and Coach Cesaro put on a good effort. They had a couple of guys get hurt, and I think the altitude maybe affected them over the course of time, but you know, overall a good effort. So, you know, make sure that you join us next time as we present BYU and the Colorado State University on March 15th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And you want to look at one of the most heated rivalries in all of USLA lacrosse. That's going to be one. Will be a fantastic game, and I think both teams will be coming into their the heat of the season right there. So.